For the outdoor designer, fieldwork is not optional, it is mandatory in my book. When I work with students on, for example, the motorcycle mobility of Ho Chi Minh City, authentic site information protects our team from naive suggestions and fallacious ideas. Landscape architects who do not leave their protected lab for deep reality check ring hollow to me. In order to cotton on to the world, my students, my colleagues and I may have to sit on a motorcycle like millions of Vietnamese do every day and cruise the streets of Ho Chi Minh City, also known as Saigon. Academic maneuverability increasingly becomes affected by willfully reduced mobility. Reasons for this are ecological necessities, political realities, as well as societal or ethical tendencies. Carbon dioxide emission has to be reduced. Global flight shame makes an impact on travel policies of universities, and the growing consideration of research ethics changes current research practices. Conflicts and territorial contention will make traveling and movement for fieldwork purposes not easier. However, the topical framework of our MLA program in Landscape Architecture for Global Sustainability calls for the study of contested landscapes and territories. Some of them may not be accessible or obstructed. Obstruction implies blocking or closing up something by an obstacle, hindering someone from passage, action, or operation, as well as cutting things off from sight. Obstructed environments often hold problems that landscape designers should be interested in. Investigating and making these problems visible, creating awareness, developing related design proposals, and initiating preferable change forms the core of our academic efforts. In a current project, we deal with the infamous Moria camp on Lesvos Island in Greece. 21,000 people are insufficiently sheltered there by a structure that had been laid out for 3,000. The extensively televised conditions in the camp don't come as a surprise. Thousands of people have to hold out in makeshift tents in an olive grove dubbed the jungle beyond the official camp area. Our continued studio task is the elementary meddling with the design of a humane place, inclusive effectual facilities for everyone in the Moria camp. Moria, what a gloomy name. Doesn't it ring a bell? Well, we spent 10 days in the field during a cold Greek winter. We came from snow-covered Norway, well-equipped and dressed warm, something that doesn't necessarily apply to the refugees in the camp. It were the sounds, not the views of this desperate city, that let us comprehend how large and miserable the place is. When we heard the sounds of tree felling for firewood, we suddenly knew what the name Moria reminded us of. It was Isengard, the fortress of Saruman the wizard in Tolkien's fictional Middle-earth in Lord of the Rings. There is another famous place in Middle-earth, the city of the dwarfs named Moria. Don't get me wrong, I'm not making any stupid joke here. We saw the shameful reality of the Moria camp with our own eyes. That is why we stress such a weird analogy of a world of make-believe and the real world. The Moria camp is on territory of the European Union in the middle of the earth. What will happen if we will not be allowed to travel to the field anymore? If ecological necessity, political reality, or other factors will stop us from doing fieldwork? Finding answers to such questions drives my continued interest in digital technology and methodology. One stunningly elegant solution for non-physical traveling had been invented long time ago. The problem is that it never became market ready. At NMBU, we understand the local VR lab as a potential control room for serious remote sensing and related design operations in inaccessible places. For good reason, it was a designer, Ken Adam, who drafted the fictional control room for the Hollywood movie Dr. Strangelove. How meaningful remote information processing and decision-making in such facility may become in reality had been demonstrated in a drama by the Apollo 13 crew and mission control in Houston in 1970. The hand-in-hand collaboration between a team field on site and a team Houston in a control room on campus may result in significant additional benefits for globally operating landscape architects. Team field out there may be much smaller than the studio group as such. We began to experiment with Google Street View-like self-made walkthrough documentation that may, if viewed in 3D, put across rather realistic information to non-wayfarers. One day, the educator may even have to travel alone in order to deliver real-world information to the students. Anyway, the product should be genuine and unspoiled. Thank you very much.